They thought I was just a housekeeper in my own home. Now I'm kicking them out and taking everything that belongs to me. My name's Krista, and I'm 28. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. 28? Damn, you're still figuring it out? Trust me, at this point, I wish I was figuring it out. Spoiler alert, life didn't exactly turn out how I imagined it when I was a kid. When I was younger, I pictured my life as some kind of rom-com. Me and my perfect husband, living in a cute little house, surrounded by sunshine and Pinterest-worthy moments. Instead, I ended up with Alan, my husband of 6 years, and a house that felt more like a prison than a home. For the first few years, things were pretty chill. We bought this house, our dream house, or so I thought. Alan suggested I could make some extra cash by offering cleaning services. I was like, sure, a side hustle, why not? But I didn't realize at the time that it wasn't just going to be a side hustle. No, it would be the slow, painful death of my actual role in this house. I went from wife to housekeeper faster than I could blink. Seriously, what the hell happened to me? Then Alan had this great idea. He decides to bring his mom, Linda, to live with us. Yeah, that's right. His freaking mother. At first, I didn't think much of it. I figured she'd stay for a few days, maybe a week tops. But nope. Linda unpacked her bags and settled in like it was her new damn kingdom. At first, she was all polite, all smiles. But you could tell there was something off about her. The way she looked at me, like I wasn't really part of the family. And it didn't take long for that passive-aggressive vibe to start leaking out. It started small, just little things. Like one time I was cleaning the kitchen, and Linda walked by and was like, "Christina, did you forget to dust the mantle?" Like, okay, I didn't realize I was being graded on my house cleaning skills. But hey, I didn't say anything. I just kept scrubbing the counter, trying to pretend she wasn't standing there, judging me. But it got worse. Oh, it definitely got worse. One afternoon, I was putting groceries away, minding my business, and Linda, God bless her soul, comes waltzing in like she owns the place. "You really should organize the pantry better, don't you think?" she says. In front of Alan, of course, because why not make me look like a total mess in front of my husband? The way she said it, so calm and condescending, like she was the damn queen of the house and I was just some hired help, some glorified cleaning lady. Something inside me snapped. Like, straight up snapped. And what does Alan do? Oh, nothing. Not a damn thing. He didn't even look up from his phone. So there I am, standing in the kitchen with his mother acting like I'm her damn employee, and Alan just sitting there, completely oblivious. That's when I realized something crucial. This was my life now. A freaking housekeeper in my own house. How did I let this happen? But the real kicker came later that night, after dinner. I'm cleaning up the table, trying to keep my cool, and Alan just casually says, right in front of Linda, "Maybe you should work harder at keeping the house in order. We pay for everything here." Oh my God, did he really just say that? We pay for everything here? So all that work I do, all the meals I cook, the house I keep running while he sits on his ass? It's nothing compared to the fact that he's bringing in money. Dude, what the fuck? I just froze. Stood there like a deer in headlights. I wanted to scream at him, to tell him to get a clue, but instead I just stared at the sink, waiting for the tears to show up. But they didn't come. Nope, I didn't cry. I didn't let him see me break. I was too fucking pissed. This was not happening anymore. I wasn't some cleaning robot for his amusement. I was his wife, not his maid. That night, I made a decision. I wasn't going to be invisible anymore. I was done playing the role they wanted me to play. It was time for me to make my move. I was done letting Linda walk all over me, and I was sure as hell done with Alan's indifference. The next time they tried to pull some bullshit, I wasn't going to let it slide. It was time to flip the script. That night, after Alan and Linda went to bed, I lay awake, feeling like my entire life had been a lie. I wasn't just being ignored, I was being treated like I was nothing. A part of me wanted to scream at them, but I knew that wouldn't do anything. They'd just laugh it off and go back to their little world. The next day, I decided to make a small change. I wasn't going to play the role they assigned me anymore. I went to the local store, grabbed a bunch of boxes, and started packing up some of my things. Alan didn't know what was happening until he walked into the living room that afternoon. "Christina, what the hell are you doing?" he asked, standing in the doorway with that confused look on his face, like I was crazy for packing up my own stuff. I looked him dead in the eyes and said, "I'm taking back what's mine." He laughed, that smug, clueless laugh. "What do you mean, yours? We live here together, Christina. This is our house." "No, Alan," I said, my voice steady but cold. "This is my house. I paid for it with my own money, and I've been here long before you and your mom decided to make me feel like I don't matter." His expression changed from confusion to anger. "What the hell is this supposed to mean? You can't just throw things around like this." But that was the moment I realized something. He didn't even care about me anymore. He cared about keeping the peace with his mother, who had somehow wormed her way into his mind. "You think I'm just the maid here, don't you?" I continued, voice rising. "You think you can treat me however you want, and I'll just clean up after you both? Well, guess what? I'm done being the help." Alan stood there, stunned, as I walked out of the room, bags in hand. I wasn't done yet, though. I was just getting started. The next few days were a whirlwind. I started calling the lawyers, setting up meetings, and making plans. I had been passive for so long, letting Alan and Linda run the show in my own home, but no more. This was my house, and I wasn't going to let them take it from me. It was around this time that Linda started making comments like, "You're acting so childish, Christina," and "maybe you need to get a job, something to keep you busy." But I could see through her facade. She wasn't worried about me. She was worried about losing control. She thought she could walk all over me because I was silent. She thought I would just accept being mistreated, but I wasn't that woman anymore. The situation got even uglier when Alan, out of nowhere, told me I should move out if I wasn't happy. "You can't just keep throwing a tantrum every time you don't get your way," he said. "We're family, Christina. Linda is my mother. You knew this was coming." That was the final straw. I wasn't going anywhere. If anyone was leaving, it was going to be them. I started making calls, gathering documents. I wasn't just going to kick them out. I was going to take what belonged to me. This house, the savings, everything Alan and Linda had been taking for granted, it was mine. It was time to take back control. I had spent weeks preparing for this moment. I had legal papers ready, and I was about to face Alan and Linda head on. It was a Saturday afternoon when they both came into the living room, looking at me like I was the one who had lost it. Alan crossed his arms. "So what's this all about, Christina? You can't just pack up and leave. This is my house, too." I smiled, the kind of smile you give someone when you know they have no idea what's coming. "Actually, Alan, it's not. And you're not in charge here anymore." I handed him the papers. "I'm done. You've had your fun, but now it's time for you to pack up and leave. This house is going to be mine. And as for your mother, well, she's not welcome anymore." Alan went pale, then red, like he couldn't believe what he was hearing. "You can't do this. This is insane." But it wasn't insane. It was the truth. And I wasn't backing down anymore. The tables had turned. I wasn't just a housekeeper in my own home. I was the one in charge now. I wasn't going to be pushed around any longer. In that moment, I knew everything had changed. I wasn't the same woman who had sat quietly, cleaning their mess. I was a woman who had taken back her power, her life, and everything that belonged to her. And with that, I walked out of the room, leaving Alan and Linda standing in the living room, realizing too late that they had underestimated me.